This video covers how to download and install Visual Studio 2022. As discussed in the week 1 lecture slides, we've got two different options of software versions. You can register for a student account with Microsoft Azure, which gives you free access to lots of software, including Visual Studio Enterprise 2022. This is a more feature-packed version. However, the features that we require for the classes for this year don't require these additional options. You might want to install it just so that you can have a play around with the extra tools that it comes with. Alternatively, you can download the free version of Visual Studio, which is called Visual Studio Community 2022, and that's from the Microsoft Download Centre. So we're going to look at both of those just now. So going back to week 1 slides, if you are interested in creating an Azure account, which gives you access to free software, then you can click on this link here to get to the Azure page. Once you're on the Azure page, you need to click on the button to start for free to log in and create an account. It's really important when you follow this process that you do use your student account. This is required for the academic email address, so the .ac signifies to Microsoft that it is a student account and therefore the software will be free. Also during the process, it asks for a mobile phone number. Again, it's very important that you enter a valid number, as verification codes are sent to this number in order to complete the account setup. Once you've set up your account, you'll come to the Azure landing page and you want to click on Education. Once you're in the Education section, you click on Software and it will populate this window with a list of all the free to download software. You're more than welcome to download any of this software. It's all available to you for free as a student. When you click on the link, it will give you a download executable, and if required, there will also be access to licensing information. If you choose this option, then you want to click on Visual Studio Enterprise Edition 2022. So that's the one you want to download. And then you'll click on the download button, which will then give you the executable. If you would prefer not to sign up for a Microsoft account, then you can choose the second option, which is to download the free version, Visual Studio Community. So again, if you follow the link in the slides, this takes you to the Download Centre. And when you get to this page, this gives you the options of downloading the different versions of Visual Studio 2022. So please make sure from the drop down you select Community. So Community 2022, click on that and it'll automatically download the executable, which you can see down the bottom here. When you've downloaded executables, you'll always find them in your Downloads folder on your hard drive. In both cases, if you double click on the executable, it will launch the Visual Studio installer. So the Visual Studio installer looks like this, and straight away it will go ahead and it will start to install Visual Studio Community or Enterprise 2022. Now it does take some time, which is why I did not include the installation in this video. Towards the end of the installation, you will be asked if you want to install any additional components. This is important because we are required to install components for our Block 1 class for C++ and for our Block 2 and 3 class for C#. Again, if we refer back to the slides, it will show you what the components look like. So during the install, this window will pop up with a list of components or workloads, and you're selecting the .NET Desktop Development and the Desktop Development with C++. So simply just click in the box in each of these to select them for install. Now while you're in here, you might notice there is an incredible amount of additional components you can install, and some of those you might be interested in. Just be aware that all of these take up space on your hard drive, so please avoid clicking unnecessary workloads, or you could be there for a very long time doing the install and it could potentially slow down the operation of your PC because it does take up quite a lot of resources. So minimally, we need .NET, desktop development and desktop development with C++. So regardless of which version of Visual Studio you have opted to download, the installer will pop up and present you with this option. If you forget or you skip this step, you accidentally close the window, don't worry, not a problem. Just finish the install. It will look like this, and then you can click on Launch and actually launch Visual Studio. Once Visual Studio is launched, you can, you don't have to create an account, you can skip it. It will ask you to personalise, so you can choose whether you want to work in different modes, so dark mode or light mode, or you can choose different colours. Don't worry what you pick, you can change this later on. It will take a few minutes to personalise Visual Studio and get it all set up. And once it is installed, then I'm going to show you what you can do if you have forgotten to install those additionally required workloads. It's not a big problem. We can go in and do it retrospectively. So we'll just give Visual Studio a second. That's it loading. So this is what you'll see. So by default, when it launches, you can go straight in to creating projects, opening existing projects, etc. At the moment, we don't want to get started with anything, so we'll just click on Continue Without Code, just so we can get the environment loaded. So once it's loaded, what you can do, if you've forgotten to select the C++ and the .NET Desktop workloads, go into the Tools menu, then click on Get Tools and Features. Once you click on this, it will go back into the installer. I had to shut down my previous version that was open, so you might need to do that as well. So Get Tools and Features, it launches the installer and it will load what options are available to you. It just takes a few moments because there's quite a lot of options to download. So again, this is the screen that you maybe accidentally shut or you missed for whatever reason. So it's not a problem. You can have a scroll through, find the two options. If you've not already selected them, you can then go ahead, click on them, and then click on Install, and you'll be in exactly the right position then to have the components that you need. Okay, that completes the overview of installing Visual Studio. The next video will be on how to create your first project.